Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mark from Right Line Trading. It is 4 o'clock on the nose. I'm just going to give everyone 30 seconds more to come into the room, and then I'm going to start. Hope everybody had a really great day. Today, our options are on the fly. Okay, we're going to start, and what I'm going to be talking about today is our trade execution platform. And it's really one thing that very few webinars or discussions, whatever you want to call them, even address. And that is one, if you see an entry, getting the most precise entry, minimizing slippage when you take the trade. And you're going to see that there's a whole host of other parameters. And then I think of tremendous importance is being able to allow your execution tool to milk the trade for as much money as possible in a mechanical way that keeps you from squeezing it too tight and really cheating yourself out of an enormous amount of profit. I think that is one of the biggest problems that day traders and even swing traders have, and that is letting the trade evolve. Because as it does, what we almost always do is have fear kick in. We have this tremendous desire to lock in our profit, and in so doing, we wind up squeezing off the trade. So I'm going to show you a tool that's going to give you the ability to get into a trade with far more precision than a standard dome. And I'll show you the NinjaTrader dome. It's true for every dome, and also in a mechanical way, I'm going to show you how it provides you with, I think, a significant additional amount of profit. Now, I'm probably going to come right off the slides here. Just really quickly, that all signals and opportunities we provide are for education and demonstration purposes only. Everyone understands that trading involves substantial risk, and it should be understood that a person can lose a substantial amount of money. Always carefully consider your financial position prior to trading and never risk more than you can afford to lose. Now, I'm going to take this down, and actually I'm going to take this down, and we are going to be moving around a little bit. And I'm going to, let me grab my chart. Here, put this up. Now, one of the things that we do utilize are Unirenko bars. Now, these are very unique Unirenko candles because we made them. Now, let me get, for some reason, I have to connect the data feed. After the training room was over, I disconnected it. Let me just get Sergio here for once. Oh, it is moving. It's moving very slowly, and I'm gonna let's see if we can get it to speed up here, so that you all know that if you trade Unirenko or Renko, the candle body is simply an illusion. It's a way of creating symmetry in price movement when there may not be quite as much symmetry as there is. And I think it provides us with a tremendous advantage in trading. But because we create these wicks, we really know where price is. So we're not we're sort of not faked out by it. Now let me bring over the NDT. And only thing I want to do is on the properties, I just want to change this to a 150. So you can see the bar close indicator. Now the bar close indicator is part of the system. And what it does is it's already telling you where the candle's going to close to the upside or the candle is going to close to the downside. You already know that. Now, in a slow moving market, it's not going to, the tool's performance cannot really be fully realized unless you're trading a fast moving market. And in the morning, we trade the NASDAQ, the Russell, the E-mini. The NASDAQ moves like lightning. I mean, if you trade a stock on a 1 minute or a 2 minute to day trade, or you trade it off of a range, it may move very, very quickly. So what this does is actually quite a number of different things. Now, I personally believe that it's going to get you into the trade with less slippage because I believe there's a queue. To the extent that the market makers are always manipulating who gets filled and who doesn't, who doesn't, and if there's not enough buyers in a long trade, who gets 1 ticket slippage versus who gets 2. But I believe the earlier you get into the trade, the more advantageous it always is. Now, we do not have to look at something like this. Let me just go to the control panel here. And I just want to bring up, even in this market, I'm going to bring up a dome. Now here's a dome. Now we know that when the market's moving, now this is on Bitcoin. Let me put it on the NASDAQ. Now we know it in a regular market, this is just going to move like a lightning. Now you can freeze it and take a trade. And I think if you click it, you freeze it. It's been so long since I've used it that I just don't remember anymore. But you can freeze it and then take your buy stop or your sell stop or your limit order or whatever you want. But it's a lot more difficult to chase this dome than it is to trade our dome. Now, we have spent years working on this, and we're just about ready to release an OCO component, which is one order cancels the other, which will provide us with the ability to bracket trade. And in certain cases, bracket trading is exceedingly advantageous. We don't have it set up yet, but we're going to. Now, let's just say, for instance, that we want to take a short trade. Now, I'm not talking about trade methodology. I'm not talking about what software you use. I'm simply talking about you want to sell the market. That's all. Now, you can decide that you want to put your sell stop in 1 tick below this level right here. Because since this is Unirenko, the close can be calculated by the system. But let's say the market is moving really quickly. All you have to do is hit sell on a down close, and it's in there. So you don't have to do anything. Now, when the market hits, you're going to get a fill. and the fill is exact. Now, this is a slow moving market, or we could have definitely gotten slippage on the trade. Now, this is a sim feed because I'm controlling direction, but the sim feed will still give you slippage. And I'm going to show you some cases where you may get it. Now, also configured into this is your entire trade management strategy. That first target is programmed into here. So we know that we're going to hit it at 20 ticks, 5 points right there. And then we're going to let the trade run. Now, I'm going to talk about the runner in a minute because I think that's one of the most powerful components of this tool that you'll find. That's what is going to allow you to milk this trade for the most money possible. So we're going to just close this trade right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this to the upside. And it's going to reverse pretty quickly and give us a long trade. And what we're going to do is we're going to buy an up close. Now, if the market's moving like a rocket to the upside, especially on the NASDAQ, it can be very, very difficult to get the optimal price. You use this tool, it sets that buy order up on the close, one tick above the close of the candle. And I just want to really go briefly into why it's one tick above or one tick below. On a long trade, the top of your candle acts as a weak area of resistance. It's exceedingly weak, but nonetheless, it's present. So you want the trade to break the candle high and go one tick more. Now it's heading up. Now these are big candles. And you know what I could do? I'm actually going to make them smaller. And that way we're going to execute faster. Well, you know, I can't do that because the ATM or the automated trade management strategy that's in this is based off of an 8 uni. So we'll have to wait just a little bit more time. But when we go to time and range, we're going to make them very, very, very quick. Now we're going to get an exact entry to the upside. There we are, we're in. And you see the entry is exactly one tick above the close of the candle. And you don't have to fuss around with the Superdome in a rapidly moving market. Again, you've already pre-configured where you want your stops to be, what are your targets, how you want your stop to behave. We pre-program that based, you know, we have optimal settings that we recommend for you on futures, forex, and stocks, which we can help you with. Watch what happens though when the first target's hit. The stop moves to break even. So now you're at break even and you're in no risk on the trade. You've locked in 20 ticks of profit. You know, this, and then obviously I don't want to talk about how much money you might make, because you could be trading one contract or you could be trading 10 contracts, even 20 contracts. The thing that matters is you're now in the trade at absolutely no risk. Now the trade management comes in. And again, we're going to go into that in a second. I just want to sort of put the NDT through its paces. And I not only want to show this to you on a Unirenko, which is really the same as Renko, except you do create wicks, which are absolutely essential, in my opinion, to trade. I don't think you can trade without them, because that's how you look at your pullback to take your continuation. And normal Unirenko candles do not have internal wicks. Sergio had to build these for us, and it's the only reason why we're tracing out wicks. So we're going to close the trade. And I'm just drinking some water. Now, let's say that you're in a market that has a lot of stutter to it. The NASDAQ is one of those markets. It can come back against you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ticks and then go your way and give you an enormous winner. I mean, sometimes on momentum, it'll just fly through. And I found this to be most advantageous on Forex. Because Forex has stutter. It's not a lot of stutter, but it's not a momentum-based market like the Russell and the NASDAQ. And what you can do is you can program in a -1. And I want to show you what that is. And the best place to do it, I think, is going to be on Paint. But it's a really, really powerful addition to the way you trade to try to get yourself more money. And that's really what it's all about. You can get some stellar entries, but if you don't milk them for the most money you can, you're also taking, whatever risk is associated with the trade. You want to make a lot of money when you get a great entry. You don't want to get squeezed out. So normally what we do, if we're going to take a long trade, we're going to get in 1 tick above the close of the candle. I don't think I hit the line there, but it doesn't matter. So candle closes here, 1 tick is set by the system, and you're in. Now, if you set it for a 1, that means that price has to, let me change the color again. And I'm just going to use the drawing tool here. It's not that great, but it's still better than NinjaTrader. Just let me make it thicker. Price has to come up, hit your entry, and that's only it's not gonna execute the trade, it's gonna trigger the trade. The trade actually will be executed on a 1 tick, 1 pip, or 1 cent pullback. So you actually get into the trade. Now you could set it for -2, -3. You're going to get into the trade here. So you've given yourself, on a leveraged instrument, a tremendous advantage. And let me show you how big that advantage can be. Let's just say, for instance, that your first target, is already pre-programmed, is up here. And it's 10 ticks or 10 pips. So it's 10 pips or ticks. Doesn't matter, it really doesn't. Either one is the same. Now you've gotten your execution 1 tick or pip below your optimal entry. Your optimal entry is always 1 tick above. It has hit it, so it's broken this very weak area of resistance to the upside. It coming back is no big deal. Remember, every market has intrinsic sort of static, and the amount of static it has is based on the average true range of the instrument. A very, very, very volatile market, it'll have a greater amount of intrinsic stutter to it. So it comes back that 1 tick. Now, when it comes back up here, and gives you your winner, you don't make 10 ticks, you make 11 ticks. That's 10% more. That's a lot of money. So you make an additional 10% on the trade. And if your stop, this is just an example, is 10 to the downside, you're going to cut 10% off your stop because your entry is here. And I'll make this red to the drawing tool. So since your entry is here, or actual execution, if it comes back down, it's only 9 ticks, 9 pips, or 9 cents before it takes you out of the trade. So it gives you a 10% premium on a winner and a 10% premium, or you lose 10% less on a loser. So it gives you a tremendous advantage on the trade. So I have found it to be most effective on the Forex markets. They have a lot of intrinsic stutter. Remember, you have a bid-ask spread on the Forex, which you always want to try to eliminate as much as possible. So the trigger of the trade, 1 tick above, but then the entry on a pullback will reduce that bid-ask spread and really put a major dent into the spread you have to deal with when you trade. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how it's going to work right now. Just give it a second, and I'm going to call a trade. And we have it at -1. We could have it at -2. Remember, the bigger the pullback you want, you're also increasing the chance that you will not get an execution. That you won't get that pullback, and then you'll miss the trade. In other words, you'll get the trigger, and the trade will trigger, but the pullback you're looking for won't happen, and then it's just going to run right past you. So let me. It does put you at some risk for missing out on the trade, but most of these markets have a lot of internal stutter, which is really meaningless in terms of taking the trade, or your win, or the actual chance it's going to win. So let's take a long trade right here. Now we don't get a line here, because we've set that -1. And the market's going to head up. But it already knows where the trigger is and where the execution is. And we'll watch it evolve. There it is. Now it hasn't executed. It's got to come back. That's just the trigger. Now, if it doesn't come back, you see where it took the trade? You actually got 2 ticks of premium on slippage in your direction. Now, if the market doesn't come back to you, you're not in the trade. And now you've got your execution. Now you've got 2 ticks, 2 pips, 2 cents of premium. It hit 1 tick above the trigger, but it actually got you in all the way down here. And I think this is either 2 ticks, 2 pips, or 2 cents. So now when you hit your 10 tick, this is actually a 20 tick first target. You now make 22 ticks. And this is a 40 tick stop. You would only take a 38 tick stop in the worst case scenario. So you can see how it gives you a tremendous advantage in a market that just simply has a lot of internal stutter. Now, like I said, the only markets that don't are the ones that really move on tremendous momentum. And I've seen that in the NASDAQ. I've seen that in the Russell. Like the E-mini has a lot of stutter. I mean, it usually creates fairly significant wicks. And if you look right here on any of these trades, all of these would have gotten you into the trade on that one tick pullback. Just inherently, it creates that amount of pullback on the trade. So it can be extremely advantageous for you to put in that -1 and allow yourself to grab an extra tick or pip. It also helps if your execution is potentially with slippage. And if you do, you're going to take that slippage right back from the market. Now, there's a great way of trailing the trade that I want to show you. And this is not the optimal way to trade or to trail, but I'm telling you, it's still very effective. And what I want to do is bring the market down, because I don't want it to trade off the top of the screen. It won't. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change the instrument. I'm going to change it to the Russell. If I change it, we're going to lose the wicks, because when you refresh your chart, NinjaTrader itself as a platform does not have the capacity to hold on to the wicks. But it'll start making them in a second. Now, see, now the Russell, I don't know why it's flying. Can't tell you why, but the Russell is going to run on a smaller candle. It's a 4, 10, 20. Now with the NDT comes our tool to trade Unirenko if you choose. I think it offers tremendous advantages. But now we're trading a candle that's half size. Now, if we go to the NDT, right here, where did I put it? Oh, okay. You know what I need? What I need to do is I need to bring up a Russell end, or just activate the here's my super dome. Hang on one sec here. Here's the control center. And I just need to activate the Russell. Just hang on one sec here. Okay, the RTY is enabled, is already enabled. All I need to do is to find it. Oh, okay. Hang on a second. Let me edit. Let me find it. Chart Russell. Let me just bring Sergio in for one sec. He'll get it for me. Okay, we got it. I don't know why it was so tough. But now the Russell, now what you can do is in the morning, you can enable 5, 6, 7 markets, and it's super easy. All you got to do is put check marks in the strategy section, and we will show you how to do that. It's very, very simple. So now we're trading the Russell, and now the ATM strategy is different. It's all programmed into here. So if we just sell a down close, you're going to see a slightly different strategy. So there's our entry. And instead of looking for 10 ticks, 20 ticks, we're looking for 10. And you see the candle is stamped here with the NDT stamp. Now we move to +1. Actually, it's set at -1 right now. It's still giving us that -1. I'm sorry, it's a +1. So we're taking the stop. So it's a stop -1. I'm sorry, and it's just going to run. So I'm gonna close that. So this is just going to work faster for us. Now here's what I want to show you, and just because it's a shorter candle, it's going to happen quicker. So let's sell on a down close. We're in. And let's let it run a few candles. Because this is a very, very powerful way of trailing your trade. Now, I'm going to show this to you on a time-based chart too. I'm not going to do range because range and Unirenko are quite similar. Okay, we're in the trade. We're going to let it run. Let's let it move a little bit to the downside. And I'm telling you, this is one way of really, really locking in a lot of profit and doing it mechanically. And it doesn't have the standard trailer that you're forced to use when you trade off the dome. And that trailer is really inaccurate. Sometimes it just doesn't roll with price very well, especially in a fast moving market. This is a terrific way to trail. Now I'm going to show you a better way in a second, but I just want to show you how you can trail the trade. All right, I think it's gone down. Let me let it go down 2 more candles. Now, what you're going to do, you sold on a down close. Now you're going to close on an up close. So the first reversal candle is going to be the candle that takes you out of the trade. So now your stop is engaged. As long as the candles, now these are Unirenko, it doesn't matter whether they're time tick, range, Renko, Unirenko, as long as they continue to close to the downside, you stay in the trade. So it takes out all the subjectivity of you worrying about moving this trailing stop on your own, locking in profit arbitrarily, which I see happen all the time. And oftentimes when traders get a lot of profit, they'll get really tight and they'll snuff out their trade. Let's move the stop back. Now it's running on a mechanical trailer. And you're going to continue to get money and you continue to accrue until you get a reversal candle. Now, a reversal candle is a major structural disruption of the market. And actually, in my opinion, it creates a lot of problems. But you're going to see how we're going to get over those problems with what is our more powerful trailer. The key to it, though, is that it's not subject to any, subjectivity. You're not going to use your gut feeling. You're not going to start squeezing it tight to lock in profit. It's a totally dispassionate way of trailing the trade. And I'm telling you, when you take your discretion away, it is much more, and you're out. First up candle closed you out of the trade. So as long as the trade continued to evolve to the downside, you're fine. So if you take a long trade, buy an up close, you hit, you're immediately going to hit close on a down close. You have to hit your first target, because the first target is the key. Brings you stop to break even, locks in the profit, and that's the worst you can do. And then as the trade evolves, hopefully continuing to move in the direction you want, you're gonna close on a reversal candle, and you're gonna lock in as much profit as you can before the market turns a single candle in your direction. Now, there's other configurations. Obviously, you can just buy, you can just sell, you can override and just close. Now, there's some Unirenko traders that will buy or sell on the close of a candle in either direction. The candle closes to the upside, they want to buy it. If it closes to the downside, they want to sell it. So it's got a few more buttons on it than I'm really going to describe, because a lot of those are rarely used. And if you want to use them, we're more than happy to teach you how to do it. But they're very, very rarely used. Or I'm going to close a candle irrespective of the direction that it's going to close. And Sergio is very close to adding the configuration with the bracket order. Now, you can program into this any ATM strategy that you want, any number of contracts. It doesn't matter what instrument you're trading. In fact, I have so many ATMs in here. I mean, I can here's my E-mini, here's my NASDAQ, here's my muscle, here's my ultra bonds, here's my gold, here's my Russell, here's corn, here's soybeans, here's wheat. For all the different instruments, I have the ATM strategies that I'm going to trade. So that really does provide us with a lot of benefit. Now, I just want to show you. If you just hang on for 1 second, or just 1 sec. All right, hang on 1 second. Right click on. Okay, there was one additional on it, and I knew Rory would remind me. Now that is the good until canceled. You have to check it, and you have to hit save settings. Now, if you want to remove it, obviously, you just go in and you can remove it, and then you hit save settings. But I'm going to show you how this can work for you on the save settings. So let's add it. Good until canceled. And let's save the settings. Now the market is going up and it's continuing to rise. But let's say that we have a market that is so high that you believe, and just for teaching purposes or our academic purposes, we're going to say that the market's heading into strong resistance right here. And you believe, and actually it should be red, but it doesn't really matter, that if the market comes up and hits resistance, now obviously it's got two choices. It can break it and continue to the upside. You have no problem because you're going to continue to make money. But let's say it hits resistance and bounces. you're going to hit sell on a down close, and it's going to be good until canceled. So that the first down candle that you get, let's say it bounces off of here and it comes right back down, it's going to execute you, and it's going to this is going to continue to follow the trade. So you don't have to keep moving your entry and keep reconfiguring it. The system knows where that reversal candle is going to be. You believe resistance is going to hold, and you want to grab that first reversal candle. Now, every single time, now the way the NDT works is if you put in a trade and it doesn't work on, let's say you're looking for a long trade and the candle closes to the downside. It's actually a very positive feature. And I'll show you how that works in a second. The thing is now, whatever you have put in is not going to, is good till canceled. And the first reversal candle, you're in. There it is, one tick below. Now, actually it gave you a couple ticks, you got a little bit of slippage, but it got you right into the trade. On a fast moving market, it's going to give you a great entry. Now, here's what happened. So that good till canceled order is terrific if you believe you're going to get a turn at major resistance or support on a move that's way overextended. Now, here's what happens. Let's say that you want to buy an up close right here. And let's say the candle closes to the downside. See how the order vanished? If your order, if the trade or the candle does not mature in the direction that you want it to, the NDT will close it out for you. So you buy, which is really advantageous. If you are looking for a serious trade and where the candle close is in the opposite direction of what you're looking, you don't have to go in and manually cancel the trade. It just vanishes and it's gone. And that's also going to help you if you're trying to trade more than one instrument. And sometimes we'll take a trade on the Russell and the NASDAQ at the same time. You can take your eyes off the chart for one market, because if the candle closes in the opposite direction, your trade is canceled. You don't have to do it manually. If the trade hits, it's going to run on your automated trade management strategy. So it's just one less thing to worry about, and that good till canceled order is good for those particular situations. Now, I'm going to move to time, and then I'm going to show you the trailer that I'm talking about. Now I'm going to take this off, and let's move this to a time-based chart. And we're going to move it to a 1 minute. There's a minute. That's the quickest we got. Now, when you're trading a time-based chart, and I trade time-based on Forex and stocks, you don't necessarily know where the candle's going to close. You have to wait for the candle to close. So let's say right now we're going to sell a down close. Now the NDT, as soon as the candle closed, it executed the trade. It put the stop right there. That was the best estimation it could make. It's going to be normally going to be a little better than that, but it gets you into the trade with lightning speed. If this market's moving really quick, you have no idea where the candle's going to close, it's going to get you into the trade. Let's try it again. We're going to close on a down close. we have to wait the minute. I didn't bother to put the minute counter in because we can just set. There it is. And that was perfect. One tick below the close of the candle, which is exactly where you wanted to get in. Now, there's no way you could do that manually. Not knowing, having no idea where the trade is going to, where the candle's going to close, and having to rush in and do it. Now, the stop is configured for Unirenko, so it's obviously not working right because this is a Unirenko. This is a Unirenko ATM. So and I can't change it right now, but I just wanted you to see the configuration where it gets you in. You would have a time-based Unirenko stop and trade management strategy that would be locked right into the dome. You can dial in multiple strategies. You can also always dial in multiple instruments, and it's tremendously advantageous. Now, all the things that I showed you, I don't want to be redundant, that I showed you on the Unirenko are operational on time, on every candle. If you sell a down close, if this is what you want to do, now you can just let it evolve via your ATM, but let's let it close. Hit and close. Now, if this was a really fast moving market, you would have a heck of a difficult time getting in one tick below the candle. When right now we have no idea. I mean, you're going to have some idea because that counter is going to head down. But see, the NDT's best estimate was still one tick or 1 cent below. But now you've got the trade, and you can do the same thing. You can close on an up close. And as long as the candle closes to the downside, you're going to continue to get the trade to run in your direction. And you're going to continue to accrue profit. That's a fairly conservative trailer. But what I like about it is the trailer is it, you're trailing the trade by 10 ticks, 10 cents, 10 pips. It's basically being taken right off of market structure on the market. Reversal candle takes you out, and that mechanical trailer doesn't come into play at all. And it's much more advantageous to do it this way, even though the stop is obviously not trailing the trade correctly, because it's a different kind of candle. Same thing also on the move to the upside or the move to the downside. If it keeps moving to the downside and you believe it's going to hit major support and you want to buy that first reversal candle, you're moving to the downside, you're going to buy an up close. That first reversal will put you right into the trade as close to one tick above the close as possible. So it's a terrific, it's even more powerful, I think, when you're trading a candle where you have no idea where it's going to close. Now, this is a slow moving market, so you do have a bit of a chance to get it off the dome and get a fairly close entry, but it is really tough to do when the market's moving really fast. Now, I'm going to show you I want to show you a couple of trades on video, and then I'm going to show you our what I consider to be the most advanced trading tool for trailing a trade that there is. It's a really recent addition to this tool. Now, I've got to bring them up off of my desktop, and let me just move my desktop here. And Here's the trading room. Hang on one sec here. I gotta move it over. Sorry here. Keep having to switch these screens. A real pain in the neck. Here it is. Here we go. I got it. Now this is a real trade. I took in the trading room. I call these trades live. Now here's the system trailing. This is the NASDAQ. Our first target was hit at 20. I'm not even going to bother. I'm not going to bother to go over our indicators or trade methodology. All we're concerned with right here is how the trade is trailed. Now I moved the stop mechanically, which is mostly a huge mistake. But the reason I moved it was I was moving into major support, a pivot, and the VWAP. And if I do trail mechanically or myself, which like I said, is about 75% an error, I wind up schneidering myself out of a lot of money. I just wanted to show you an actual trade. Now you can see the tool it's been triggered right here. Sell a down close. And the trade's just going to continue down. Right here, you see we're at 30 points. And you see the NASDAQ, the Russell is doing nothing. Now this is our automated system, and it's done nothing. Now this is telling you the number of contracts crossing per unit minute of time. And then I'm going to show you a trade taken off of the trailer that I'm going to show you. It is totally unique, and we have applied for a patent. We're now at 36. I mean, it's just a gigantic move. And I am trailing the trade myself, and I'm telling you that's a big mistake. Most of the time, it winds up costing me money. I just lucked out here, and it did not. Now we're at 48 points, 50 points. And that's just really the move. I mean, the NDT got us into the trade. You saw that I had called it with it, and we just got an awesome trade. And ultimately, it's just gonna. I always get nervous when we're up this much, so I just squeezed the trade, but I squeezed it right at the bottom, and I'm out of the trade. So let me show you the video that I want you to see that runs off of the now I grayed out my account number. I leave it on in the room, but I just don't want to project it in a webinar. This is on playback, so I don't know. I don't even know if this was in, but you're going to see how we trail the trade and how incredibly advantageous this is. And then I'm going to show you a couple more, and I'm going to explain it to you. I mean, in my opinion, this is going to get you the most money out of every trade if you never touch it. And I'll show you how it operates. I can move this a little bit because it is. It's going to start to move. And really, the amount it makes is really irrelevant here. Now, this is market replay. This is a real trade I took. I just wanted to rerun it. Now, it's running off of this line. If you see this line, this is a 15-period exponential with exponential smoothing. It's a proprietary line that is momentum based, and as long as it's green, the market is telling us that we still have upward momentum, that institutional money is still pressing price to the upside. Now we're hitting major resistance right here, and you may be inclined to tighten the stop because there may be a bounce off resistance. But the best thing to do is leave it alone as long as this line is green. It's really hard to do. I mean, I have to sit on my hands because I would be very concerned about this. That's just not a pivot. That's a buy-sell zone that's telling us there's a major oversupply of sellers there. So we need a lot of buyers to push through it. I'm going to move it a little bit. And once it gets through that resistance, it pops. If I remember correctly. Now you're still in the trade. This line is still green. And that is the key. The color of that line is represented up here in the upper right-hand corner by that square. Because sometimes that line moves into confluence. And it's hard, sometimes it's a little hard to see, especially if our trend eclipses it. Now this line's still green, never changed. We have a 2-candle retracement. The line stays. Remember I told you it takes a little bit of on market replay. Okay. And I'm going to move it a little bit. The line is green. Now, under 99% of circumstances, you would be out of that trade. That line stayed green, and the trade is going to continue to go up. This happens, I swear it happens every day. Yesterday, there was a 60-point move on the NASDAQ off this 15 trailer. And that's what we call it. It's our 15 exponential. Now we're up 50 points. The only reason we could get it, if we closed on a reversal candle, we'd be out. On a trailing stop, there's no way you take 2 candles. That's a 49-tick pullback. And that's another 8, that's 57 ticks. Momentum stayed, and you're still in the trade. You don't have to touch your stop. That 15 line is acting as your safety net. I'm going to move it over. Look how much more you get off this trade. Now you're at 74 points. If you would have got stopped out here, about 60% of this trade would have been left in the dust. This is going to happen on all your volatile markets. Now, I think it's going to close right around here. that it closed. You see it went yellow here? Now, I kind of slid past it, but that line just went yellow. So the trade closed. So I moved it to the actual amount of profit we made on the trade, 27.20. But that's really irrelevant because you might have traded it with more contracts. You might have traded it with fewer. I traded it with 3. So it's really not the amount of money that's important here. It's just the fact that that 15 was almost straight as an arrow up, and then it finally bent it was a 3 candle. If I would have run this slower, it would have been in the middle of the third candle. So it gives you an enormous amount of profit. Now I'm going to show you one more that actually evolves, and Sergio's going to set it up for you. I'll just give you 1 sec, and then I'm going to let Sergio do it. Okay, here we go. Now, here's the trade as it evolves. Now, the reason what we're using here is market replay data, because this is a trade from today. Now we're trailing it off of the off the 15. And you can see it's moving pretty quickly. All right, here it goes. I'm just going to let it evolve. We're not going to touch the stop. And actually, what it was that was the entry wick that we took to get in, and I just took it too early. So I don't know what's happening. Are we on the right time, Sergio? Yeah, I get it. Okay. Okay, we're ready to go. What we had done is we set the wrong time, and now we have it on the right time. Yeah, this is going to be a long trade. Let's hang on. I'm executing the trade wrong. You want to do it for me, Sergio? You can help me. Hang on. I'm not used to using market replay data. Go ahead. Let you execute. We're just not used to the market replay system, and it's not too smooth on Ninja. So just give us 1 second, and we're trying to scroll to the trade.
I think you can get it here.
Okay. I mean, the market replay data is quite as accurate, but here we go. I see, didn't take us out. Going higher. It's a huge wick. Also did not take us out. There's one candle. Did not take us out. Continuing up. All right, well, so we'll see where the trade actually ends. Here we go. Now, I'd rather this set for ticks than for money, but we can scale it. Okay, just took us out. The upper right-hand corner, see the red? So our entry was right around here. I mean, it's just an estimate. And we were taken out right here on this red. And that gave us a 64-point trade. That's 240 ticks. And the only reason we could stay in this trade was we got the 2-candle reversal, line stayed green. 2-candle reversal, the line stayed green. The 3-candle will take us out. That's all the risk we want to take. We don't want to take a bigger risk. So this allowed us to stay in. If we would have been stopped out here, we would have lost, again, about 60% of the trade. And that's what that tool does. And that's what it allows you to do. Now, I'm going to change data feeds again. I'm going to take it off the playback, which I'm just not familiar with at all, and go to the sim feed, which I think this is a different chart, I believe. But I think it may run this too. Let's see if it does. Hold on. Oh, let me disconnect and reconnect. Let's see if I can get this to move. Okay, it looks like we may be frozen here. I mean, changing data feeds like this, you know, while the NDT is still open, is never while the whole platform is open, is never easy. But really, I've really gone through everything. Let me bring the NDT up again. Sorry. Let me enable. And that's really put it through its paces. Now, the trailer off the 15, this is a proprietary line. It's exponentially smooth. And what I want to do as sort of a last is I want to show you if we put in a regular 15 period EMA and show you that there's a tremendous, there's a big difference. Here's your EMA. We'll move it to 15. And we'll make it 3 point. Now, what it does is you see how stable our line is on this 2 candle retracement. That normal EMA gets really pushed around. Our EMA stays very smooth, but in a move up, they both move up with almost exactly the same slope. So they're moving up with the same speed. And on this move up, eventually they're gonna get very close to each other again. So when you get constant turns, the regular EMA is going to get pushed up and down a lot. Our EMA is going to be much smoother. And so, but it doesn't sacrifice speed. See in the move down, these 2 EMAs are almost confluent with each other. See that 1 up candle pushes the regular EMA up. Our EMA stays almost completely, it's almost unmoved by this to any significant degree. So if you're in the trade, it's not going to change color. It's going to keep you in the trade all the way down, take you out about right here. So it really gives you tremendous stability. These big wicks, no matter what you're trading. I could show you the same trade evolve on time, only it would take a significant period to do that. I mean, even on a 1 minute, you know, it could take 15 to 20 minutes to see that same thing evolve. So it doesn't matter what you trade. All of these configurations are operational. You know, you're in the driver's seat as to what you want to trade. We will help. Sergio does a white glove installation, and he will configure the entire thing for you. Now, just want to bring up one more slide. Let me take this out. It's not it. I'll find it. I mean, normally I never have to keep going back and forth and back and forth. You know, from different charts, different data feeds. This is one of the few where I have to do that. Okay, well, it is open now. Let me just find it. It is here. Oh, here we go. All right, I don't know why I can't see it. I'm going to close it and reopen it. Oh, here it goes. We got it. Now, I'm just going to drop this down. Now, let me show you the offer that we're going to make you. And let me just go to the offer slide and go from the beginning. And just, now, normally the tool is $1,499 on a yearly basis. Now, what we're giving you is a 50% discount. Now, that's for a lifetime license. You'll never pay us another penny for this tool. Now, I'm gonna answer questions as soon as I finish with the offer. Now, we're gonna be adding bracket trading, and there's a couple of other features we're gonna be adding to it as well. I can't remember what they are. The bracket trading is going to be next, so you can create an OCO order. Now, if you're one of the first 10, there were 175 people in the room. The first 10 will also get a month with me in the live trading room. You'll watch me call the trades. Obviously, at the end of the session, I answer all your questions. And if this tool is what you're interested in, you're going to see completely, really in real time, you know, how we trade it. I'm also going to throw in my micro cap of the week stock, and let me tell you, I have gotten some killers. And you're going to get one every Sunday night. Now the offer expires on Friday, December 3rd, tomorrow at midnight. But only the first 10 are going to get the live trading room and my micro caps. So let me see about the questions. Hey guys, good morning everyone, or good afternoon, I should say. Let me scroll all the way up here. Okay. Hey Dwayne, let me see. The trailing stop of close. Is there a way to get around a sharp pullback in the wrong direction? Listen, Dwayne, the only way to really get around that, honestly, is to set a huge trailer. And I'm telling you, you do not want to take a trailer bigger than that 15. You know, if you're heading down on any financial instrument and it does a sharp reversal, and you and I both know the NASDAQ is prone to making radical changes in direction. If that 15 takes you out, you're going to have to take a huge amount of risk to stay in. There's just no way. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but you don't want to take 50, 60, 70 ticks of risk. And that's the only way it's going to happen. So it works great on Forex, Ken. Remember, you look for that 1 pip pullback. So it's going to execute 1 tick above the close, but you're not going to get into the trade until you get that 1 pip pullback. The 1 pip pullback will try to shave off. I mean, if you have a 1 pip spread, you've eliminated it. If you have a 2 pip spread, you've halved it. So it works really, really well on Forex and really helps you with that spread. Hey, Larry, if I click sell on close and that it's always going to close if you hit sell on close. If it doesn't matter whether it closes to the upside or to the downside, a lot of Unirenko traders will want to close a Unirenko box, whether it's closes to the upside or the downside. That's the only reason I can see using that. Is that auto sell on close, Larry. It's just automatically going to close whether the candle closes up or down. Is Ninja offering micros? No, Ninja's offering micros. Absolutely. The NDT will trade the micros great. Ninja's offering them all. It'll offer you all the index equities, Dow, Russell, NASDAQ, mini, gold, crude. And I'll tell you, if you can get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, a terrific micro. It requires a significant amount of margin, but you could make a lot of money if you is the micro DAX. Now the full contract is $12.50, 12.5 euros a tick. I don't know how much the micro is. It may be $1.20, and I'm sorry, it may be 1.25 euros a tick, but it will work on all the micros, no problem. Remember, the NDT does not know what instrument it's trading. I mean, it's just looking at price. That's all. So you can use it with any financial instrument, any stock. I mean, I use it to trade soybeans. I now have a chart up for treasury bonds. It does not matter. It will trade any stock, any future, any Forex, and it'll also trade any crypto. I didn't want to go into day trading cryptos, but remember, there's a micro Bitcoin contract, and it doesn't pay you much. I think it pays you 50. Is it 50 cents a tick, Rory? It pays you 50 cents per Bitcoin tick. But our system trades the Bitcoin micros really well. So it does not look at the instrument, just looking and engaging price. Hey, Ken. I may have turned the sound off for a little bit. And Ken, it does work on again, it does work on Forex, yes. Oh, listen, I knew the trade that I wanted to take and use on market replay data, Richard. So, Sergio did market replay on the entire day, and I did not want you to have to sit and watch the NASDAQ move for the entire day. But on market replay data, you can set it for the time. So we just set the wrong time. That's all. That was not the time that the trade that occurred actually occurred. So we just shifted the time and then we got it right. That is what that meant. Hey, Bochi. I really appreciate you and your team, Uncle Rory and Sergio. God bless you. I will see you in the room. I will see you tomorrow, Bochi. Thank you so much. Hey, Donovan. Donovan, you always get the upgrades. If you don't have the latest version of our NDT, you just let us know. Rory, check Donovan S for the latest NDT version. Okay, Rory's going to check Donovan. You don't have it, we will fire it out to you. And if you need Sergio to set it up and configure it, he'll be more than happy to do it. Hey, Mark. Yeah, Mark, that's a limitation. It only works on NinjaTrader. I mean, it took us a couple of years to make, and we're looking to move it, but we're talking about 2022. It's such a complex tool and requires so much programming. We sent it for a patent, and I used to have patent pending on it, but I was getting embarrassed because it's come back now. We took the patent pending off because it's come back from the patent office now twice, asking us to clarify and modify the code somewhat. Every time it goes back, it takes 7, 8, 9 months for them to come back again. So it just takes forever to get a patent with all the code we have on this. Mark, that's where we're looking. We're looking to put it on Thinkorswim. But I want to be perfectly honest with you, Mark. It's not going to be tomorrow. I mean, it's a ways away. It's definitely doable because Sergio's ascertained that, but it's going to take an enormous amount of time and coding to do. And I don't want to tell you, if you come aboard, you're going to have it in a week or 10 days. You're not. It's going to be a significant period of time, and so I want to be really transparent and clear. So that's our offer. It's a lifetime purchase. I think this tool can make you $7.99 in one day on one trade. I mean, I'm very prejudiced because I haven't been using the Dome in years because I just trade off of it. It makes trade execution so much easier. And I'll tell you, post-trade management is something that is simply not discussed. I mean, even these gurus that throw you these phony systems do not really talk about, they'll tell you they get great trades in 10,000%, but they don't tell you how they manage the trade. I mean, did they take a 34-point pullback? I mean, what was the strategy they used? Not from the entry to their 10,000% winner, but what happened in between and how did they get there? That's never discussed, but that is a big, big problem that you and I have to overcome as day traders or swing traders. And this really goes a long way towards helping you overcome that. So listen, everyone, I really appreciate giving me your time. Switching charts, switching data feeds was a little bit cumbersome, and I appreciate your patience. I'm telling you, if you're interested, it's a tool that will not let you down. It is just a terrific trade management tool. Everyone have a really, really wonderful evening, and I wish you all the best. Stay safe, and again, get out. Let's get out there and beat up those other small retail traders and be really successful. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.